talk about it. The realness. Yeah. Rosenberg, keep it real, my G.
Guys, I love, you don't have to turn the channel. You don't have to get nervous. Your kids should hear this conversation. I occasionally love a good doobie as much as the next guy. Maybe even more than some of the next guys.
Roll that ish like that ish. Smoke it.
However, every once in a while, I believe that those that consume marijuana have to be realistic about some of the negative effects that potentially come with it. Now, I believe marijuana to be much better a choice than alcohol. I think it presents far less dangers. However, I learned 3 things yesterday about marijuana in one day that made me nervous about it. Number one, a study that came out that says that people who smoke a lot of marijuana or even a moderate amount of marijuana have serious issues. Their brain is affected in certain ways, particularly related to motivation.
Lazy, you don't say. Weed smokers being lazy.
But confirmed by studies. Starting to get interesting.
They did not need to spend money on that study. That was a waste of money.
Then there was a man who ate edibles in Denver, Colorado, and shot his wife to death.
What?
That's what they're saying the reason was. He lost his mind because he was stoned on edibles. And listen, weed heads, don't go out there and say it's impossible. I've done edibles. Anything is possible. And lastly, in the Nas documentary yesterday, he said that the night his best friend Ill Will died, Ill Will smoked pot for the first time and bugged out and acted crazier than he's ever acted before and ended up getting killed. 3 different stories that made me think maybe weed isn't as great as we thought. And then I went home.
Smoked a joint.
Well, Dumb and Dumber was on cable.
I think you make some good points there, Sir Rosenberg, but I will also assert this. Breathing air nowadays can give you brain damage. Painkillers and things that they prescribe you can give you brain damage.
Talk about it.
And there are plenty of things out here, and I'm not making an excuse for marijuana. All I'm saying is the propaganda machine that is anti-marijuana right now, because it is picking up steam, state by state, is heavy.
Do you think
so don't just fall because you said yesterday all of a sudden you got 3 things. That's not a coincidence, sir.
Really? You don't think so?
No. That is the anti-marijuana machine.
Who runs the anti-marijuana machine? Is it like the cigarette and alcohol machines?
Could be. Could be.
Sound like hate.
Because you know those big tobacco companies ain't eating off all this weed profit.
And that story's in Denver. That edible story's in Denver, which makes me think, what if they're trying to shut down the weed situation out there?
And what if this bastard that shot his wife was just effing crazy in the first place?
Yeah, well,
Exactly.
she's a lunatic.
And they went in there like old school and just sprinkled a little weed on the crime scene.
Just sprinkle a little weed on it.
Sprinkle a little weed. That's what he did. He was getting high.